All right, Clive. Clive, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I'm from Jamaica.
And you came to the U.S. at what age?
Oh, well, I came to the U.S. When I just about when I turned 18. I
Came with your family?
No, actually, I came by myself. I had an opportunity to work on a cruise line, and by then, the cruise line travel different part of the world. I work on 5 different ships, which for the same company, and of course we do the Caribbean cruises, we do the Europe, and we had another 2 months to go home and be with our family. But after 6 years, I decided to reside in the United States, which my first stop was Miami. I was in Miami for a few years. Then I relocated to California. I've been in California since then, which goes back to the late 70s.
And tell me about your childhood a little bit. You had both your parents growing up?
Yes.
Good childhood?
Can you repeat that?
A good childhood?
I would say yes. Back home, the way we were raised it was more family, but poor. Very poor, I would say. I could remember the days when I would go to school, no lunch, barefooted. When like in summertime, the street would be so hot. What they put to surface the street, like what we call tar, is a black thing. And if you step on it, melts when it's hot. So you have to walk in the bushes. So your feet wouldn't get scarred. So again, I remember those days. Growing up, it's like I have to do better. I mean, I tried everything. I make sure I go to school every day. I took up what they called it back then was cooking. These days it's culinary arts. So there was a class that they offer cooking classes. I was the only male in the cooking class because all male think that was a girl thing. For me, I see it as a profession way down the road. So I learned how to do the things from my mom, and it happened to pay off. I went to back home. There was the cooking school. I went back home. I went to cooking school. I did my internship at the Hilton Hotel, and after school, they took me on as a chef trainee at the Hilton. For the next 2 years, I was with them until the cruise line came to Jamaica, wanted to hire people to work. I got hired, and I was traveling for the next 6 years, and here I am. Yeah, so I ended up at Warner Bros. I worked for them for many years. They sent me to school. I went to CIA, Culinary Institute of America. That was a very big boost in my career. I got certified. I'm a certified executive chef, which I'm Clive Jackson, CEC, behind my name. Most people don't understand that you just can't call yourself a chef and be a chef. You have to be a certified chef to be a chef. But it's common people call themselves a chef. I'm one of the to this point, maybe less than 4,000 certified chef in the nation, which is, in our world, it's a big thing, big major thing. Being a person of color, it is a percentage of that. Because I work hard, I studied hard, and I accomplished a lot. I again went on to my restaurants. During that period of time, this is when my son got killed. My son was the pride of my life. It's like I was living for myself. It was my firstborn, and
Where were you living at the time?
I was living in LA. I was living in South Central area.
How old was your son?
My son was 14.
14.
And my son we were supposed to be going on vacation. It was during the Thanksgiving weekend holiday, and my son called me and said, "Dad, I need to go and pick up some underwears, T-shirts, whatever, for the trip." It was Thursday. We were leaving Monday. I took off work, went to meet with him. Because, again, my firstborn was from a different marriage, different union. I went to get him. I got to his house, and I called him. Back then, all my kids have to have a communication with cell phones. So I could, which I called him on his cell phone. And he said, "Dad, I just saw you pull up at his house." And I looked in my mirror, I watched him walk towards me. He was with his two little friends. And he said, "Dad, can I take my friends with me?" I said, "Well, you have to find out from their parent, It's okay. I just don't want to take them." So the boys tried to call their parent, they couldn't hear from the parents. I said, "JR, let me go to the car wash, which is on the same block. And once you reach these guys' parent, let me know, and you just meet me there." So I was at the car wash when they came. They were excited, and it was okay for me to take them. I gave them some bus. I said, "Dad, can we take the bus?" Because my kids never, as close as the school may be, or wherever they're going, we take them. This time around, I'm like, "You're 14, it's okay. To take the bus, It was a holiday weekend. I gave them the money, bus fare, whatever, and the money for them to shop. I said, "We'll pick you up as soon as they finish washing my car." I watched my son and his friends walk off, and 10 minutes later, I heard, bus stop was closed. And I didn't thought it was my son getting shot until one of those little boys, his friend, ran back and said, Clive, Junior got shot." I said, "Junior got shot?" I'm here in my head trying to think, how will that? Just like that. I got to the scene. Like I said, there was no police, no paramedics, and there. I can't express to no one my feelings. How it feels, I could tell you, I was lifeless. Like, I didn't know how to. I was like, "God, just take my life. Just son, his life." That stays with me up to this point. Why my son, not me, have had a little bit of life. My son didn't have it. No kind of life experience that one would hope for. But again, communicating with my mom back home, I said, "Mom, I started to hate God. Didn't believe in God anymore." My mom said, "You have no right. You have no right to question God." At all. But I couldn't understand that until my then wife and myself was being harassed so much because my son was killed by the gangs. They were trying to jump my son for the gangs. My son was fighting back, trying to save himself. And from what the witnesses said, my son had a hand on him, like had him down once. And then he was with two little boys himself, two other boys, who fighting my son's friends, two little friends. These are kids, 11, 16, and 14. The boy who killed my son was 17. So at that point, my son's friend tells me that how he got out, they tried to pull his t-shirt over his head, but he got out the t-shirt and started running, noticed that the boy was trying to pull a gun out his waist because my son was doing that, and then he couldn't. And he said, "Junior, run, Junior, you have a gun." My son got off and started running, and he laid there. My son fell on his face. He got up and went over my son, and there was 9 more bullets while my son was laying on his face. My son didn't have a chance. According to the autopsy, there was 7 bullets that my son picked up that would have killed him. There was 3. One was his back. The first one, that he maybe would have been paralyzed. There was one in his neck. But there was 3 that he could maybe live for a moment while living. But there was 7 that was detrimental. So, of course, now he's on the run. He was on the run to get away from the law. But it was a Thursday. There was a teacher, boy who killed the murderer. His teacher was a witness to the crime. So she was across the street. Saw the killer walk by her. She was putting gas in her car, and she was, Antoine, why you're at school? Because it was during the period of school. And he told her, well, my other teacher allowed me to go because I told her I had something to do. So she said she watched him. He did not even go to the crosswalk. He ran across the street with 2 other little boys and ran and started fighting this other boy, which was my son. And she said she saw he pulled that gun and shot my son, his teacher. She said he was so close to the school that he attended. She said she ran to the school without even moving her car and told the principal, oh my God, I just saw one of her students shot someone. So they called this teacher conference right then. And of course, they went down and reported it. That was Thursday. But they kept the principal and the teacher questioning until Friday morning. You remember they had the America's Most Wanted. He was America's Most Wanted that Friday. There was a national warrant for him. Anyway, it happened that 2 weeks just passed, and they were still trying to find him, and we were being harassed by the gang. We have to have police protection. Every time we open our door, the news media, police department, every news media. My son became the poster boy against gang violence. Because my son wasn't in the gang. So, of course, we now we became a part of this whole movement against gangs, which was a good thing, because every time they have a conference, the police department, they want us to be present. And for me, it's like setting yourself up to get killed, Which, anyway, we had to leave town. We left town for a while, because of the threats, and And my wife was so sick. My present wife, she was sick, she was up and all that. And we decided, she said, I need to go see my doctor. Got to go see my. But we were out of town, so we make an appointment. On our way back, we got a call from police chief then, Brant, and they want us to be present at the Parker Center because the boy was about to turn himself into the Channel 5 news. It was the big thing. So we got there, they got us there, and because they would not let him turn himself in until we were present. Got us there, I watched the whole thing, turn himself in, and then he was like, they requested him why he was on the run. He said he was scared that the police was gonna kill him, you know. Well, he deserved to die, you know. That's the way I see it. Anyway, the next day we had an appointment for my wife. We got there. My wife was pregnant, 3 weeks pregnant, on the day when my son got killed. We were like, that's not possible. We haven't done nothing, since my son. But yes, we did it right the same night. It was that Wednesday night that my daughter was conceived. Within the same 24 hours. That's the way I see it. My daughter was conceived right before my son got killed. That's like a major thing for me. It was like joy, like, thank you, God. Remember, I was the guy who didn't believe in God. But here I am now. I have to eat my words or my thoughts. And I understand what my mom was saying. Don't question God. That's why I'm a true believer. And even though I'm homeless, everything was taken away from me, He blesses me every day. Sometimes to the point where I'm like, I'm hungry. But when I got that meal, it was so much that if I fall asleep right here, and people always say, man, you're talking to sleep. But what I'm talking about, they always say, I said, thank you, Jesus, in my sleep. It's like, it happens automatically. Moving on is, like I said, I've been blessed. My last business opportunity was my last restaurant that I had. He blesses me with almost no money, and my restaurant became one of the biggest restaurants in town. People were lining up every day, mostly on Sundays for brunch, but we had a full liquor license. It was the place to be, place to go, just to unwind. I had it for 8 years, up until when the pandemic came in. This is when I lost it all. Right after I was, the Hell's Kitchen group came in and I did a restaurant makeover. And again, on top of the restaurant was already nice. It became much nicer and much more beautiful, and people were like loving it. I lost it recently just because of everything that was happening. I'm homeless at this point. Trying to survive, trying to get back some kind of business, which would be food, culinary arts that I do. I'm a certified chef. I want to help. I just donate some of my time at the food bank, trying to help people like myself, the homeless. And my thing moving forward is to get back on track, and help those who are helpless, because I know what it feels like. Let me say, I did some drugs to heal my pain, and I don't consider myself being hooked on it, because I that's not what I live for. There's days, there's weeks, there's months that I don't even think about it. But when things get so hard and rough and and then of course your surroundings sometimes, put you in that frame of mind. But I don't consider myself hooked on drugs, because I don't focus on that. I focus on living and focus on helping people like myself.
Clive, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
I think
Thank you.
your life has a strange way of,
Revolving. Yes, sir.
you get it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
God bless. Thank you.